pubsportsradio.com. Hey guys, it's time for your Saturday Pub Sports Radio play of the day video. Yesterday, how about it? Not one overtime, not two, but three overtimes for Texas State to pull out a victory, getting 1 point from UT Arlington. Money all spends the same. You got a little bit of free basketball. You sweated it out. You enjoyed it. Now it's time to come back on the hardwood and get yet another winner for our Play of the Day video. We're going to head out to the West Coast, and that is the West Coast Conference. BYU lining up with Pepperdine from beautiful Malibu, California. If we take a look coming into the season, BYU sitting at 23-7 overall. If we take a look at Pepperdine, 15-14. Also, if we take a look in conference play, how about BYU? Nice little win streak going here. 12-3 in conference play, and that's a key number we're going to talk about in just a few moments. Pepperdine comes in at 8-7 overall. It is going to be senior day versus BYU at home. Last time we saw BYU, how about that? Nice victory over Gonzaga at home. Wait a full week off. Refresh, get ready, because there's a key indicator in this game also, because if you're taking a look at, well, maybe we don't know how BYU is going to come out to play, an emotional victory at home, senior night at BYU. Now they have to go on the road. Certainly that does factor in, but if we take a look at the West Coast Conference standings heading into tournament play, there's only one game left for everybody. And if we look right now, Gonzaga sits in that 1 seed, BYU in the 2 seed, but also St. Mary's sits in that 3 seed. Now, if St. Mary's goes on the road today and beats Gonzaga up at Gonzaga, and you flip it over and say BYU loses their game today to Pepperdine, that's going to flip the shift, and that's going to go ahead and elevate St. Mary's to the 2 seed and knock BYU down to the 3 seed. You want to avoid at all costs Gonzaga in that tournament, at least to the conference final of the West Coast Conference. That's what planning on to do today. So you do have still have some motivation for BYU to go in and win this game. If we take a look and say, well, what do we like in this basketball game? If you take a look at a side or a total, if I'm looking at this game, we're going to focus in on a team total, and that's the team total for Brigham Young, and here's the reason why. As we just stated, still a lot of motivation in this game to go out and not only win the game, but win the game convincingly and head off into the West Coast Conference tournament and see if they can possibly take down Gonzaga. But if we look overall here, tempos, styles make fights is what you hear me all the time. Portland, San Diego, Santa Clara, Pepperdine, San Francisco, and Gonzaga all play with elevated tempo in conference. For a large portion of the season, BYU played without their big man, Yoli Childs. Since he has been back and going against those basketball teams, let me read some of the actual points that BYU has put up in those games. 82, 107, 85, 90, 72 is their low point, 85 and 91. That's an average of 87 points per game with Yoli Childs back against teams that do like to play with tempo, and that's what Pepperdine's going to bring. So we know BYU is extremely talented on offense and efficient going against a team that will push tempo and doesn't play all that great of defense. Pepperdine in adjusted tempo in the nation, 55th, but if we take a look at their defensive total for efficiency, 236 in the country. BYU is going to score in this basketball game. BYU will be motivated to go into Malibu and pick up a victory to keep their standings in the West Coast Conference. We're going to cheer on points today for our Pub Sports Radio play of the day. That's the BYU team total over 81. That is your Pub Sports Radio play of the day. I'm Donnie Seymour. Good luck on those wagers.